This is KVUE News at 6.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Rush.
And I'm Jenny Lee. Our top story today, the murder of a 74-year-old Austin defense attorney is solved tonight, according to investigators.
But they are still trying to learn more about how and why the lawyer had befriended a 24-year-old with a lengthy criminal record. Tony Plohetsky has been following this story for days. He's here with the very latest. Tony.
Well, Mike and Jenny, two very different pictures emerging tonight of the victim and the suspect in this case. We're learning more about them from court records and through family members. James Short's sister tells me her brother loved his work as an Austin defense lawyer and that he especially loved serving as a court-appointed attorney for indigent clients. She says he also enjoyed hunting, fishing, and gardening and had been traveling across the country in his motorhome. Meanwhile, this man, investigators say stabbed him to death, has a lengthy criminal record. His name is Justin Nicholas Twine. That record includes fraud, assault, and resisting arrest. He had already had an outstanding warrant on a charge of escape from Georgia, and now he faces a murder charge with his bail set at $500,000 in Short's murder. You may recall Short's body was found in his home southwest of Austin on Friday. An arrest affidavit we obtained today shows that the two had gone shopping at a Walmart the night before Short's body was found. Security cameras captured images of the two together. The affidavit says they recovered mobile phones that showed the two had been texting in the days before the murder and that Short had given Twine directions to his house. Sheriff's officials say getting Twine back to Austin from New Orleans, where he was arrested, is now their top priority.
We're going to do it as quickly as possible. The district attorney's office gets involved and arranges for the extradition, so it takes some paperwork to go through and get some signatures, but we're going to expedite that, and then either the U.S. Marshals Service or members of our SWAT team or our transportation team will go and pick him up and bring him back.
Now, one reason investigators say this investigation went so fast, Twine apparently left some of his belongings, including a backpack and ID, at James Short's house, and they were able to work with both state and federal authorities to track him down to a New Orleans hotel room where he was arrested. Mike and Jenny.
Tony, thanks. The Travis County District Attorney's Office is making a shift in policy regarding how it oversees police shootings. Now, cases will no longer be automatically sent to a grand jury.
Yeah, instead, they will be reviewed by the DA and a special civil rights division to determine if the shooting is unlawful. KVUE's Nicole Rosales was at that conference, and Nicole, one reason to do this is to help the workload for the grand jury.
Yes, they say the amount of cases that they receive a day can be overwhelming, and they want to filter out the reports and give special attention to the cases that are more complex. So instead of automatically sending these cases over to the grand jury, only the ones in which District Attorney Margaret Moore believes are unlawful will be presented, such as controversial incidents. They feel this will help dissect cases more thoughtfully. The DA says the public demands accessibility, and that's where the new Civil Rights Unit steps in. They will work side by side in investigations, prosecutions, and provide information to affected families almost immediately, increasing that interaction.
I believe that I, as your elected district attorney, am the person who should and will be held accountable for the fairness of our policies and the integrity of our decisions.
Not everyone agrees with this new policy. Austin Civil Rights Attorney Jim Harrington says she is moving full speed in the opposite direction. The civil rights of the people are too important to be left up to the trust me discretion of a political official. That was a quote that he sent us earlier today. Now, the grand jury was seated last week, and they will be completing the orientation next week. In the newsroom, Nicole Rosales, KVUE News.
Thanks. A Bastrop County grand jury declines to indict the man driving an oversized tractor trailer that killed a mother and son a year ago. Back in February of 2016, 42-year-old Jorge Segovia Casallo was driving down FM 535 near Smithville. The road is about 10 feet wide, while Jorge and another driver were carrying houses that stretched 16 to 18 feet wide. DPS officials say both drivers were breaking the law. They were too wide for the road, didn't have the proper escort vehicle, and didn't have the approved permit. Deborah Sue Jackson and her two sons and a nephew ended up crashing into that tractor trailer. Jackson and one of her sons, Blake Anthony, were killed.
Blanco Middle School counselor Lisa Rogers has been arrested and accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student. The school district has been notified about the arrest. The DPS Texas Rangers is in charge of that investigation.
Well, no sunshine for us coming anytime soon. Looks like we are going to get more of what you're seeing right now, maybe?
Yeah, you know, it doesn't look real pretty out there, but hey, it felt pretty nice out there, Nathan.
Yeah, it's a little bit cooler. Second day in a row, we didn't hit 80 degrees. High temperatures officially in Austin at 78. About the same across all of Central Texas. Anywhere from the mid to upper 70s, lower 80s though in the Grange. The humidity is high, so it's not a 75 to 80 degrees that feels all that comfortable out there, but hey, we'll take that over, 90 degrees. Clouds and radar showing things pretty quiet on radar. We do have a good amount of cloud cover. We've seen a few peaks of sunshine try to sneak out here and there. None of that happening right now, as you can see on top of our studio. In North Austin, mostly cloudy to overcast skies, mid to upper 70s still at this hour. And we're not going to be dropping much for tonight, waking up for tomorrow. Only into the mid 60s. We'll see some fog develop, waking up for tomorrow as well. We'll show you how dense that fog could get and more chances of rain in the forecast. More of that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Nathan, thank you. We have new information about last month's deadly church bus crash. Affidavits tell us the driver of the pickup truck who slammed into the bus was reportedly in a drug-induced state. 13 people on board the bus were killed. Investigators say Jack Young not only admitted to texting while driving, he also said he was on 3 different kinds of pills, some that made him feel tired behind the wheel in the moments leading up to the crash. Video shows Young swerving on the highway just before the tragedy.
He's going to hit somebody head on, or he's going to kill his own damn self. Somebody needs to get this guy off the road.
Authorities say Young also had pot, marijuana filled with cigarettes, 5 that were partially smoked. Investigators think a search of his cell phone will turn up evidence for a manslaughter charge, but Young has not been officially charged yet. He was released from the hospital last week.
Now to the 85th Texas legislature. A bill to ban so-called sanctuary cities will head to the full House for a vote. But the version going to the House is different than what passed out of the Senate. KVUE political reporter Ashley Godot live at the Capitol. And Ashley, even with the changes, Democrats are not happy with this bill.
Yeah, Jenny, Austin Representative Eddie Rodriguez, who sits on the committee that passed the bill out today, says it is still a, quote, heavy-handed solution to an imaginary problem. Senate Bill 4 will require all law enforcement agencies honor ICE detainers, which are requests to hold a person in custody while their immigration status is investigated. And it makes it a Class A misdemeanor if sheriffs, constables, and police chiefs don't honor the detainers. SB 4 passed out of the Senate back in February, and today the House Committee on State Affairs voted to send it to the full House, but with some changes. The original bill allows officers to ask anyone about their immigration status if they were detained, which includes being pulled over for a traffic violation. The House version only allows officers to ask about status once someone is arrested. Still, Representative Rafael Anchia, president of the Mexican American Legislative Caucus, says the bill does more harm than good.
I don't know that this bill is anything but kind of a political ploy. It doesn't help local law enforcement, doesn't make us any safer, and candidly, it forces us to release from our jails more violent offenders who may be homegrown and have to keep nonviolent, undocumented people in jail.
Now, police officers from across the state, including Austin's police chief, have told lawmakers the bill will hurt their community policing efforts. And the bill was voted out of committee on party lines. No word yet on when the House will take a vote. Live at the Capitol, Ashley Godot, KVUE News.
Thanks, Ashley. The school bus seatbelt bill passed out of committee today. Senate Bill 693 would require all new school buses purchased by a district to be equipped with 3-point seatbelts. State Senator Sylvia Garcia says the goal of this legislation is to protect children, prevent injuries, and demonstrate that the state of Texas is serious about the safety of school children.
Well, here's a pretty amazing story to tell you about the Austin community. The debt racked up by hundreds of Austin ISD students who couldn't pay for their lunches has been wiped out thanks to a crowdfunding campaign. The district pays $350,000 per year to pay for student lunches for those who can't afford it. And as of this morning, the campaign has raised more than $16,000.